It's Friday, July the 15th in Nassau. Well, there was all kinds of rain earlier, but it is much better now. My name is ALPHEUS and at the inaugural World Championships in Helsinki, Finland, I was astonished to see a young man in the 400 meters. His coach was a legendary Bert McKinley. My longtime friend, Bert Cameron, how are you today?
I am great, I'm healthy, and I'm here in Eugene, getting ready in another 3 hours from now to go and watch the mixed relay. But I'm fine. I'm happy to be with you.
Well, let me say this. You know, Jamaica has had a million greats. I am talking about Herb McKinley, George Roden. Does anybody know where George Roden is? Nobody in Jamaica talks about George Roden. He won two 400 meters along with our friend McKinley. Now, the question is, where are the sprinters in Jamaica?
Well, I believe that everything goes around in a cycle, and we have come a long way. I mean, originally we were a quarter mile country, just like what you said. Herb McKinley, Arthur Wynne, George Roden, and Les Lang from 1948 to 1952. So back then, Jamaicans always want to be quarter milers until Asafa Powell, Raymond Stewart, and Usain Bolt arrived. Now the sprinters. I mean, if you look, we're coming back. We have Ewan Blake, 9.86. This young man, Oblique Civil, 9.88, and this young man named Akeem Blake, 9.93. So and in our trials, we have at least down to sixth place that run 10 flat. So we're hoping that about four of these guys have run their personal best. So I'm hoping that the trend is coming back our way, and so that we can have some more glory days. But it's never die. It was just unrest for a little while.
And Bert, somebody came back. He still has that record in the 200 meters. How can he come back from all these years?
Well, I think it's his determination. I believe that he's been out. He's out there every day, not focusing on himself. And even although people had wrote him off and doing all the things, he believes that if he gets a good year, he will come back and be the person that he was in 2011, and he's showing that kind of signs now. I mean, if financially can take care of himself. So I guess when you can take good care of yourself, then there is room for improvement.
Well,
we're talking about you and Blake, right?
Yes, Blake. Yes.
Yes.
So let me say this. Let's switch to the women, the chances of the women. I had the opportunities to talk with Shelly Ann at the World Indoor Championships. And I said, what are you doing for the Olympics? She said the Olympics ain't in her mind. When the Olympics comes around, she'll be ready.
Yes.
And you don't just have one female sprinter.
Right. And if you look now, we have four ladies representing Jamaica in the 100 this year at this World Championship. We have Shelly and we have Elaine and we have Sharika.
Sharika Jackson.
And now we have this young lady named Kemba. She run 1088. So it is a strong possibility that we will finish 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we still have another 6 girls who are waiting to run the 4x1. I mean, we could run this 4x1 with 4 different girls and still make it to the finals.
Your thoughts about the 4? Your thoughts about the 4x4 with the ladies?
Even though 4x4 ladies is awesome. I mean, all 4. This is like the first time in a long time we have all 5 ladies running below 51 seconds. You know, we have at least 3 ladies in the race who have already gone below 50 seconds. So, I mean, we have a strong chance, very strong, you know, to compete with the United States. You know, I mean, obviously they have a strong team, but I mean, it won't be a walk away. It's going to be they have to run very fast and very good to win that gold medal.
Cameron, I had the opportunity of seeing you at the stadium in Nassau. Yes. One of the things you did caused me to never forget that. You had in your wallet or something, you had what you planned to run. Tell us about that if you could remember it.
If I can remember, it's been so long.
Yes.
But I could elaborate on it because
please do.
If I go to an event like a track meet or a championship or whatever, the night before I always write something down that I would like to achieve in the race that I am going to. And most of the times I'm very correct because I am so focused on what I must do. Because running the 400 meter, there's times when you run like the meet before, you make certain mistake and you don't achieve what you want to achieve. But if you do put that together, because you learn from every time you learn from the last race that you run. And if I run a certain time and I know that I didn't do what I was supposed to do the right way, then I would write it down and say, this is what I want to do. And if I correct this part of my race, I will definitely run that time. And so that is what happened. Maybe not on the day when I was in Bahamas, but I normally do things like that.
My friend, there is something that happened. Los Angeles. Tell us about that. I get so excited about that. And people all over the world.
Yeah, that comes up all the time, all the time. Because remember, I just won the World Championship in 83. And in 82, I won the Commonwealth game. And you also know that I was unbeaten for those 3 years. So,
yes,
the focus was on me. And I was very determined. And I believed that gold medal was going to be mine. Because if I run the race the way I'm supposed to run it, it's going to be difficult for somebody to beat me back then. But, it's a lot of uncertainty in track and field. I mean, today you're up and 20 seconds later, you're bam. And, I was in the top shape of my life because I prepared very well. So I went out there in the semifinals. My coach looked at me and said, all right, go now, establish yourself. You need to get a good lane in the final. So go out there and do what Bert Cameron always do. Run, look impressive, intimidate your opponent a little bit, and then come back for the finals. So I went out there feeling great. First 120, I came off the turn. something suddenly just happened. Felt a twitch in my hamstring, jumped, and I said, God, what is this? Then I tried to put the foot back down, jump again, and I said, oh God. Then I remember Elvis Ford from Bermuda was in lane 1, and when I saw Elvis pass me, then I knew that I was in trouble because I am not running from lane 1. There's no way I'm supposed to be on the back stretch at last. So I start to run again, and then I jump again, and I say, whoa, there's never a time when stop or quit came into my mind. So I said to myself, I'm going to try, see if I can go around this track and qualify. And the more I think is the more strength I'm gathering, and I gather all this momentum, and I found out that I'm gaining. I was gaining and back I was making, because I caught Elvis before he reached on the turn. So I know that I must be doing something special. And then when I came off the 300 bend, I saw that I was in the position of getting qualified. So I started to look across the track, just not trying to win now, just trying to get to the finals. And I did just that. I ran 45.10 after all those stops on the back straight. But I guess it was God's plan.
So one thing you talked about your situation. What do we call it again? Not a pull muscle. What do you call it, my friend?
They said, first of all, they said it was, at first when I call it a twitch, you know. I said I got a twitch because you feel like I was electrocuted. Boom. Just like that, boom. So, you know, running that long, say, but maybe it's not that serious. Maybe it was just gonna come and go. But every time I put my leg down, I start to feel more pain. And then
go ahead.
Right. When I finish and I first thing I did was hold my hamstring, start to rub it, and then bend over to see if I could touch my toes. And when I bend over and I realized that this was more serious, then I start to walk through the tunnel to come back on the warm-up track, but I couldn't walk. And then I know that. But I still didn't scratch from the race, because I thought that,
yes,
go back home, try to get some treatment and see what would happen the next day. But when I went out, maybe if I was going to run the same day, maybe it would be better, because, the kind of the adrenaline and everything was still pumping. But when I went home, got the treatment, and went to bed, I think it gets really cold and really stiff. It couldn't move. So, and then I knew that was it for me for that year. It cost me 2 more years because of the way that I damaged the hamstring.
Well, there is an athlete from the Bahamas, very young, Stevie Gardner.
Oh.
He had to come out of the race. A similar thing.
I saw that about 3 days ago that he withdrew. I personally believe that he was unbeatable the way how he runs, and I mean it's sad to see that he's a champion. He have gone through all these championship and won. I think that he was so close to breaking the world record. Maybe he would have broken the world record at this meet, because how fast this track is. But sometimes, sometimes he's very young. He will come back because he always seems like he's focused. It always seems like when he runs to his best, because he always, when he finishes the race, he always lying down. He's the one who do not take nothing for granted when he's racing. He puts it all out there, and then when he finishes, he does not even have time to do his victory lap, because he have put it all on the track. And it seems to me like he's always running his own race. So Stephen, get better. You're young. I think we have World Championship next year again, and then the Olympics. And once you're healthy, you will be just fine.
Well, something I would wish to say to you, Jamaica doesn't just have sprinters and all of that anymore. They have jumpers, and they've had some great jumpers all around. Short put people. And, the ladies in the hurdles, and the men in the hurdles. So your thoughts about
that? I personally predict that we are going to win the men's 110 hurdle, and
I believe that.
And we have a great. I think we have a 80% chance of winning the women's hurdle. This little girl, Brittany, I watched her, and so I hope she correct all her mistakes for this meet, because if she comes out and run the race of her life, I don't think that she will be beat. I really honestly don't believe that she will be beat. If she gets out and run the race of her life, she will win. But I have no doubt about Mr. Parchment. I think he's going to win, and he's going to win convincingly.
Now, I want to ask you something that you could help us with. Your thoughts about Bahamian track and field. When we were in Gothenburg, somebody called us the Bahamas, small country, great athletes. Everybody in the Bahamas thought that I said it, but this fellow from Germany said it. Your thoughts of the Bahamas now?
You know what I think about Bahamas? Bahamas athletes, they are not in great numbers, but they always, like we have a saying in Jamaica that we little but we talawa. Bahamas always have 2 to 4 athletes who on the international stage always come out and compete. I remember the 4 ladies in the 4x1. I mean, I'm too old now to remember all of their names. I mean, you always have individual gold medalists. I remember the young man who won after me. He was the next person to win the world championship. I've not heard anything about him anymore. But you always competing. You're always competing in not in a whole lot, not in a lot of numbers, but like with a small gathering. You always been seen. You always did. I mean, people do not take Bahamian athletes in an individual way. They do not take them. They take them seriously, because once they come out there, they're going to do well.
So let me say something. The situation, what I am saying about that is that, we had Troy Kemp. You remember Troy Kemp?
Yes.
What did he do?
Troy's a high jumper, right?
The high jumper, he beat Sotomayor in the World Championship.
That's what I'm saying. When you have a good one, there's no name that comes up when they're competing that they're afraid of. I mean, they're proud. They are very, very proud, because I don't remember if Troy was the one who plays basketball and just came out there and just win. I mean, no, that's not Troy. No. That's not Troy.
Donald Thomas. Well, we need to talk about Donald Thomas.
You're right.
Donald Thomas is there now. And guess what? He won, and he in 07, and he is still jumping. He's still jumping. They laughed at him, and at the meeting, they laughed at him. How he jumped and everything else. Not that, but but it's just unbelievable. He is still there. He's about 37 or so. Yes, 36.
I remember this young man from Bahamas that went to school with me. I guess he haven't done a lot on the international stage, but Fabian Wim is
Fabian Wim, yeah.
always determined. Always, if you run with Fabian and you beat him, he get upset. He don't think that nobody's supposed to beat him. Yes. So I think you guys come with that mentality. You know, once you're good, you're gonna come on the stage and you're gonna show it. You know, and like us Jamaican, we are very determined, but we come in numbers. We come in, with numbers. We have a lot at the time, but Bahamas, you have 2, 4, or 5 people that comes to compete, and you bet they make it look like it's about 60, 65 because they're going to do well, and they demand to be heard, to see. So I think you guys treat your athletes very well. I mean, to be honest about it, you know, if we in Jamaica could get some treatment like that, you would have not seen anything about us yet. Because we have to do well to make life for ourselves. But Bahamian, I think once they see the talent in their athletes, they help to, I don't know if it's a government or a sponsor, they help to prepare them so that they can get greater. But for us, it's totally different. We have to do everything for ourselves. And when we get there, that is the time when they start to help. They start to want to help when we don't need the help.
Let me say something that you know of. Have you been outside of the capital?
Here?
No.
Oh.
Well, guess what? We have athletes all over the country, but the challenge is to finding a way to have coaches go and see them. And we have had a national high school track and field championships and all of that. But the challenge is that the athletes are all over the place.
Well,
and
see,
the facilities, so that's one of the things the government has to do.
Right. We have a good database. In Jamaica, it is so competitive for us to find these athletes. It's competitive, but it's easy because the network, the way how we network things is, if we see them from 12:30, and from 12:30, no matter where in Jamaica, where in the country they are, we are going to try to find a way to move them into a situation that in the school, because you know our school competition is the most exciting competition, I think, in the world. So we're going to get those students to come to, you know, schools that have good coaches. And once they come, you know, they're bored, they have sisters, they have cousins, they have auntie that live close. So they go to them and stay. I mean, you cannot, in Jamaica, there's no way that if there's a young athlete coming up, that they're going to be lost in the system. We're going to find them, but it's how we treat them after that. We have no problem of finding the athletes and take them to where they can get better. But after that, the high school system, then they move on. They can move on to college if they want, and if they don't feel like they want to go, they stay. But we don't lose any of them. We find them, and it's how we take care of them. Normally, sometimes some became great, some not too great, but they all get a chance to compete.
I just saw something in the media with the one and only Usain Bolt. He was being honored. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that is good.
Yeah, I think he got his second honorary, was it doctorate?
Yes.
Doctorate. Where is it again? Yeah, but it's his second time getting his honorary doctorate at a major institution in Jamaica. What you're saying is so, I mean, you're saying is so, even when he's not running, it's still spectacular, you know. He makes his presence felt.
Let me say something. Go ahead.
and he served the country well. So it's not to say or take anything away for it. He's our national hero.
Well, at one point, the question was, after the 100 and the 200 and everything else, what should he do? I said he could do the long jump. And yeah, but while we were in Moscow, his mother said, well, am I going to coach him? I said, no, the same person who coached him is the same person could make him one of the best long jumpers.
I think that anybody who coach Usain Bolt and he put his mind to it, he's going to be the best in it. I always said that he should run the 400, and
well, of course. He started that in the Bahamas.
He run 45.
He started the 400 in the Bahamas at Carifto.
Yeah. I just believe that anything that he put his mind to and want to, you realize he went to play football. He plays basketball. Yes. He's just a phenomenal sportsman. And I think he's just living his life now. He's enjoying himself because he put everything down on the track until he decided that he doesn't want to do it anymore. So he moved on and just have his kids and his wife and his whatever, and he's just having a hell of a time. And we still salute him. He demands that kind of respect, and we just love him.
Well, I thank you so much, my brother, because you, as I said, you gave me the opportunity to tape you as an ALPHEUS Finlayson track and field legend. Thank you so much, and hopefully we're going to see one another at some place sometime soon. Thank you so much.
This is the first time I come to a World Championship and don't see you. Well, I guess I saw you and
we'll talk about that another time. Another time, yeah.
I appreciate it. Just to call a legend on any aspect of this globe, I am happy and I welcome it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.